Is this video claiming to show a girl actually sticking a snake up her nose and pulling it out her mouth for real? Or is this bizarre mental floss video just too weird to be true? I've got the answer to that creepy question, plus the answers to a whole bunch of other crazy photos and videos that you guys sent in. Like this photo claiming to show a fish with a human face, this shot of a couple photobombed by a smiling stingray, a picture of what looks like a goat hanging from a wire by its horns, and that doesn't even include the big story this week, which is about this long-lost footage which actually might just be showing us a real giant. This show is going to have more surprises than Doctor Who's phone booth, so don't go away. Hey guys, Bill here. You know, tales of a lost race of giants is just about as old as humanity itself. Ancient Greek myths describe a fearsome race of giants called the Titans, who battled the gods of Olympus. Some of these gigantic monsters, the Hecatoncheires, had 100 hands and 50 heads. Perhaps the most well-known giants are those that are presented in the holy books. The Bible describes a race of giant warriors who were created when supernatural beings mated with mortal women. The Quran speaks about the people of Ad and Thamud, huge and powerful giants that could uproot trees with their hands. Other giants, such as the Daitya, appear in Hinduism. The largest human we have actual documentary evidence for is a man named Robert Pershing Wadlow, also known as the Alton Giant or the Giant of Illinois. Growing to a world record 8 feet 11.1 inches or 2.72 meters tall, Wadlow was taller than an elephant and weighed 439 pounds or nearly 200 kilograms. He grew to this gigantic size due to a malfunctioning pituitary gland that caused his body's cells to keep growing non-stop. But aside from a few outliers like Robert Wadlow, it still remains an open question whether or not a race of giant humans existed in the past. That's probably why the internet is full of photos and videos claiming to show archaeological evidence of giant humans that may have lived in previous times. Some of these photos are clearly made with the intention to be funny, and I don't think anybody really believes they're real, but other pictures do look more convincing. That's why when I came across what seems to be long-lost footage of a giant walking among normal-sized people, I became very interested, to say the least. The footage was first sent in by Raphael W., who gave me a link to a video on YouTube that seems to show a gigantic man dressed like a sumo wrestler parading through the streets of a small town. Now, judging from the size of the other people captured in the scene, this man looks like he's at least 15 or 20 feet tall, which would make him a true giant. Raphael, I think we're going to have to take a very close look at this footage to find out whether we're truly looking at a giant walking among normal people or a Godzilla-sized fake. The link Raphael sent in led us to a YouTube video called Top Secret Video Giant in Japan. The description box claims, in ancient times there were many giants. Look at the Egyptian wall paintings. Knowledge is power. I'm not exactly sure what Egyptian paintings have to do with Japanese giants, but I think the first place to start is a closer look at the video itself. On the surface, the video looks like it was recorded a long time ago, before anyone knew how to do advanced special effects. In this frame, you can see he looks like a real human standing behind those dignitaries. But then, why isn't there any mention of this in the Japanese newspapers of the time? I have to admit, I was a little bit stumped on it. But then I remembered, I have a friend who's also a Japanese media expert. Now, this is the same guy who helped me solve the riddle of that video I made called Weird Exploding Sea Creatures, which was made in Japan too. Remember that one? His name is Brant Ryder, and thanks to him, I now have this, the official answer. But if you watch this show regularly, you know short of cutting this open with a samurai sword, there is no way I can tell you what's in here until you tell me what's going on up there, okay? Now, when I say go, what I want you to do is yell out as loud as you can, either real or fake. Now, if you can't do that, there's another way to go, and that is just to vote right up here. You ready? And go. Okay, did you vote? I think you did. I think I heard a couple of yells out there, which is good because I like people to just get it all out, okay? Now, we're going to get this out in just a minute, but first, we're going to take a look at some of the other crazy, bizarre photos and videos that you guys sent in lately. First, we have this strange picture of a fish with what looks like a human face. It was sent in by Jeb Guy, who just simply wrote, "This thing is creeping me out. Please tell me it's fake." Well, Jeb Guy, it's creeping me out too, and I wish I could tell you it's fake, but I can't. It's real. This fish is called a Matsuba koi, which means pine needle carp in Japanese. Japanese carp are bred for their distinctive coloration and markings. The markings on this fish, combined with the olfactory organs that look like human eyes, create the visual effect of a human face. If you look closer, you can see its real eyes are actually located further away on the side of its head. Next, we have this photo of a couple being photobombed by what looks like a smiling stingray. It was sent in by Jaden, who said, "Hey Bill, I saw this photo and couldn't decide if it was real or fake." Well, Jaden, as Facebook readers Anthony Thomas and Hans Marses pointed out, the photo and the stingray are both real. I can verify this too, because remember that video I shot at Stingray City in the Cayman Islands? It's the same place. It's a popular tourist destination where handlers carefully scoop up the rays and position them just behind people's heads so that it looks like there's a smiling stingray in the picture with them. And if you look very closely, you can see the fingers of the person holding up the stingray behind the woman's head. Here's another picture where you can actually see the hands of the person holding it up. Next up, we have this bizarre photo of what looks like a goat hanging by its horns from a power line. It was sent in by Andrew Lynch & Co., who asked me if it was somebody's idea of a bad Photoshop picture. Andrew, I see your point. I mean, how could a goat get up that high? And as Facebook readers Tina Lynn and Jesse Andrew point out, the power line seems suspiciously straight to be supporting the weight of a goat dangling in midair like that. So that means the photo must be a fake, right? Well, actually, not right, because it's real. It's a screenshot from this amazing cell phone video shot in Greece. As Facebook reader Annie Ajera Santa Cruz points out, the power line is actually a telephone line, and footage of the entire rescue operation is posted on YouTube. Exactly how the goat got up there has yet to be explained, but one thing we can say for sure is it's not a surrealist painting. Sometimes truth can be stranger than Dali. Know what I mean? And now I think it's time to get back to our big story this week about the big guy. Remember him? In the found Japanese footage. You know, just a second here. I really want this to be true because it would just be like the coolest thing ever that somebody found this footage and then it turns out to be this real giant. So keep your fingers crossed. Let's see. The found footage claiming to show a gigantic man standing at least 15 feet tall has been carefully examined and researched by a Japanese media expert, you know who that is, and a wide variety of professional visual effects artists. Well, that's the bubblegum monsters, but don't tell anybody. Okay, now, based on all the information collected, we have reached a decision. And the decision is, are you ready for this? Oh no, 100%, without a doubt, and beyond any question. I knew it. You know, it's just like the megalodon. You always want it to be true, and it always turns out to be fake. That is just so frustrating. I can't tell you. But hey, If you're thinking about clicking away right now, I want to do that because we still have something else to discuss. Remember the girl who stuck a snake up her nose and then pulled it out her mouth? Well, I've got the answer to that one. And I've got some fascinating detail on how we broke the case on this found footage of the Japanese giant. Listen to this.
Bill, this black and white footage that looks like documentary footage is actually from a Japanese movie released in 2007 called Big Man Japan. The movie's a sci-fi comedy romp about a mild-mannered Japanese guy who transforms into a giant superhero to fight against, you guessed it, monsters invading Japan.
Hey, thanks, Brent. That was some really good information. You really helped us solve that one. But hey, what is up with the Japanese, huh? I mean, they are monster crazy. They come up with more monsters than any other country in the world. Well, except for Ireland. Ireland's got a lot of monsters too, and I know because I'm working on a new video on that subject with junior reporter Olivia B, which is going to come out pretty soon. You're going to see Japanese, Irish, both monster crazy. At any rate, that's all the time I have for this video. I'm going to be giving the answer to the old snake up the nose video in just a second. But first, I want to send out a big thanks to everybody for sending in pictures and videos every week. They're all amazing. Special thanks out to everybody who helps me find the answers for these photos. And hey, don't forget, if you've got a picture or video and you're not quite sure whether it's real or not, send it in to me at billschannel@gmail.com. Please don't leave links or suggestions in the comment section because really, all that's going to happen is they're going to disappear and at the same time drive me crazy! See you next time. Now, about that video of the girl pulling a snake through her nose and out her mouth. Guys, as much as I'd like to think that young doctors like her have better things to do than pull live snakes through their facial cavities, it turns out the video is real. The girl was auditioning for a Pakistani adventure reality show called Over the Edge. No word on whether or not she was selected to be on the show, but if I was the producer, I wouldn't let talent like that slip through my fingers or my nose.